Good morning, friends. 9:30, and as committed and promised, we take off now. Very happy to invite each of you this morning and welcome each of you to a wonderful, engaging 45 minutes with one of the champions that I've known for the last many years. He's been an A speaker, somebody who's been wowing the audience wherever he has gone or wherever his profiles have been shared. Of course, he's been a media man. People like to uh, go by what he has been doing professionally. He's been a media man, one of the topmost guys at Times of India when it comes to creating brands and when it comes to giving people a primetime space and ensuring brands get recognized. So, presenting to you somebody who I've been inspired with for the last almost 2 decades. He was formerly, when I first started getting to know him, he was a part of one of the largest training organizations in the country. That was NIS Para, a company that later on I went on also to work with. So Mr. Bhatt is not just a media guy, is not just a speaker, is not just somebody who's been with the training industry for a long time. He's also been somebody who's been doing a lot of thinking. He's been somebody who's been doing a lot of actual practical initiatives, how they can reach people. So a couple of days back when I first launched the youth talks, the first part, and that was aimed at trainers. So we got talking, me and Animesh Bhai, and when we got talking, I was a bit surprised that why was Animesh Bhai not on my panel. Surprised at my own you know uh, lack of awareness that this is the guy who's gotten things happening. This is the guy who's been taking center stage. This has been the guy who's introduced so many people to the big time profession of speaking. Somebody who's got only and only relevant, valid points to share with people. So we thought, well, what happened was actually good because had he been part of a panel, we would have to share Animesh Bhai with four more people. Today, we've got the man himself and the entire screen to be taken up only by one man, and that is Animesh Bhai. Animesh Bhai, without much delay, I'd just like to welcome you on Youth Talks. I'd like to thank you for agreeing to come on board to share your experiences with our audience here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Thank you very much. In fact, this is the best part of the whole program, that wherever I go, the introduction, I feel now we must stop. I mean, I'm feeling very satisfied and happy. Such wonderful, beautiful things talked about me. I don't think I deserve all of this.
I've not shared anything about you. I've not shared your standard feature profile that this is what he was, this is what he did. People are going to come to know about what you've been doing. Friends, he's also joined in the capacity as a marketing and a brand consultant with one of the largest educational organizations we have around. That's the Navratna University, a platform which is going to help so many zillions of students find their feet and find their calling. Animesh Bhai, uh, hitting the discussion point straight away. We were discussing about the course trainers are going to take or they need to take. Where is this river going to go post the crisis? And is it just this crisis that we need to be concerned about? Or is this crisis uh, a wonderful opportunity, an opportunity in disguise for all of us to reinvent, rethink where we need to move in? Over to you, sir.
Like I have always said, and all of us always know about this, that all problems are great opportunities. We've got somebody who's leading our country, who's grabbing problems as opportunities so frequently. I mean, everybody knows the chai wala who's converted a chai wala into such a huge opportunity. More than an opportunity, I think we need to realize that the world is going into a direction which it has never been in the past.
Sure.
Post the industrialization, which is about 150, 180 years ago. After that, we are getting into a phase which is going at a phenomenal speed. And if we don't if we don't recognize this particular fact, most people will fall aside. Please understand one thing. Technology, look at us. We are about 30 plus people sitting over here, okay, 30, 40 plus people sitting over here talking to each other from our homes. on a Sunday morning, 9:30, and the moment we switch this off, we're going to be back with our family instantly. Okay. Otherwise, you would have travel time, going back, coming back time, so many things. So technology is going to take over, and technology is going to change things the way we could never have imagined. Imagine 180 years back, when the Industrial Revolution was still taking off, if there was a man who was brought into this particular room, and if I showed him that if I press that particular button, there'll be light and there'll be air conditioned with this, or I told him that, look, come out, and I show him a small thing going up in the sky and say, I'll tell him that 200 people in that particular vehicle reaching Bombay in 30 minutes, he would think that he's in some other world. He would say that this is a dream, this is not true, this is not possible. Or I gave him a mobile and picked up the phone and say, now speak to your wife. I don't know what would happen. He would think that he's definitely in a dream. Now, this kind of a change is expected in the next 5 to 7 years. I used to say that 10 years, but post-COVID, what they're talking about is that what was expected to happen in 5 years from now is going to now happen in 18 months.
Wow.
So we have a choice. We have a choice of sitting aside and crying and saying that, look, things are bad. Or we have a choice of grabbing this particular opportunity and having the first mover's advantage and do whatever we can. So like I was talking to Himadri the other day, and I think I should repeat that particular example at this particular point of time. And that would probably set the context of what I'm trying to say. There was this glass bottling company in the United States of America who was losing his market share, and he was not doing too well. And he was the market leader. And he appointed a consultant who obviously told him the obvious thing, and that was reduce costs, increase profitability. He did that, but his main income was getting reduced, so he could not really keep up with the profitability that was expected. He was not happy. He was not being able to do anything. So he said he appointed another consultant. Now, this consultant sat and talked with him, talked with him for hours together, trying to find out, what is the business you are in? Tell me what business you are in and let us find a solution. And he kept saying that he is in glass bottling business. The conclusion at the end of it was that if you are in the glass bottling business, then people do not want glass bottles anymore. So therefore, you're going to be out of business. So let's rethink. And eventually the conclusion was that he was in the liquid packaging business. The moment that mind shift happened, that he was in the liquid packaging business, he said that he has the resources to set up Tetra Pak bottles or packages if he want. He has the resources to make pouches if people want it. He has the resources of the connects with all the organizations which are making liquids who need liquid packaging. And he's got the network to distribute these things. And he's got the honesty, integrity, and the lifelong branding that he's an honest guy and it's good to do business with him. He took off immediately. Now, what was the mind shift? The mind shift was that he's no more a glass bottle manufacturer anymore, but he is a liquid packaging solution provider. So the question that we need to ask us is that, what business are we in? Are we in the business of getting a few number of people together in a closed environment and talking? Or are we in the business of helping people become better versions of themselves? Are we solution providers or are we classroom teachers? Are we in the business of educating people or improving the skill sets in a particular area? Being vehicle agnostic, being delivery agnostic, being everything agnostic. This is what I do. This is what I'm good at. How I deliver it is not important. I'm in the liquid packaging business. Whether that happens through glass bottles, Tetra Paks, pouches, doesn't matter. I package liquid. What business are you in is what needs to be asked for, looked for, and what is the situation? Having realized what is the situation, we need to find solutions so that you can fulfill your calling, fulfill your passion to deliver whatever you have to deliver. That is what I think is what is important. COVID or these lockdowns is a fantastic opportunity to become absolutely location agnostic, to be absolutely specific delivery mechanism agnostic, and reach out to the whole world now. You don't need 25 people from Baroda or Chennai or Bombay or Delhi at that place anymore. You reach out to the whole world. And to get 30, 40, 50 people shouldn't be a problem at all. Or get lots of small batches of 10 people. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Or get two people. Shouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, I would recommend that what is important because of technology and because of internet is that content is very easily available. I'm sure all of us are aware that most of the things that we are talking about is already available on the internet. There is not much that you and I are saying which is not available on the internet. So therefore, what is it that you should do? In my thinking, you should give the best of your content free of cost on the internet. Just give it away. Give everything away. So what is free? Free is content. So the best of your content which you were selling so far should be made free. That is available everywhere. So what is it that you sell now? Now you will say, okay, how do I make money? You sell access. You sell you. I will give all my content free of cost, but you want personalized solutions? You want me to talk to you and tell you what is going to make a difference to you, your business? That is what is going to charge you, because I'm going to customize for you. Otherwise, non-customized thing, free of cost, just give everybody to the whole world. And access to people is what you charge. Is a thought that I have. I'm not saying that this is the only way, but is a thought that I have that can happen. This is the starting that I would like to have on. Can't hear you, Himadri. Can't hear you. You're mute. Yeah.
Animesh Bhatt, this is an amazing bit to, an awesome point for the entire audience to ponder that, the liquid packaging. Now that's how exactly do I need to reach? You mentioned one point towards the end, and that is let the best of you reach the entire world. What would be the vehicle people now know? However, isn't there a risk of overexposure?
There is nothing like overexposure anymore. In fact, you're constantly underexposed unless and until you've reached out to everybody on this planet Earth. You telling me that Jai Shetty and Sadhguru are overexposed? I mean, look at the kind of content that they're delivering. They are, or for that matter, so many other people. They're constantly giving away superb, high quality content, free of cost, live, as well as the pre-recorded continuously. So the question is, how the hell are they making money? Or how are they surviving? Because people are paying quality money to speak with them for an hour or 2 hours, or to be with them for an hour or 2 hours, because then I'm doing something which is customized for you. That is where the money is. That is where the big money is, because that will happen only. I mean, how much money will you pay if you are a big fan of Sachin Tendulkar to sit with him for, or to pay to, I mean, look at the amount of money people are paying Warren Buffett to have a 1 hour lunch or dinner with him. Okay, and it's getting auctioned. So content is something anyway which is available. Now, whether you are also giving it away in your style or not is the question. And I think that is something that people need to be aware. Or otherwise, you will remain into that niche of taking that amount of money that you're taking for those small classroom sessions that you're taking.
So
is what I think.
Yeah, Animesh bhai, there was a discussion I was having with somebody in Ahmedabad. Now, they don't run a very huge organization, but then it's fairly big, 1,800 crores is the turnover. We were getting into a conversation, how exactly are we going to train their entire staff online? And they kept dragging me back into a perspective that Sab, ye tab shuru karenge when the market opens up. I kept telling them that there is a possibility, let me, establish a lot of protocols, simple and easy doable stuff where people can be at their homes and they can still be doing an activity or a game. But they were right behind me, telling me time and again, almost 45 minutes of the conversation, they kept insisting only on one thing. We would like to be a partner of yours. We would want you to be our learning partner. However, we can take off only once the entire crisis is blown away. What do we do with these kind of people?
Now, is the problem that they have that they do not want to do training right now, or is the problem they have that they're not very sure whether they can afford the training right now?
No, I mean, it was very clear. The mandate was that we start delivery in the month of, March, and, move up for the next 11 months. The mandate was given to us. We have everything with us.
Because the opportunity of theirs, having their people sitting at home doing nothing, and that time being utilized for getting trained and putting processes in place, is too tempting not to use.
So there is this small sense of fear they have, that we get people behind the screens. We get you in front of the screen. You do the training. We take care of, the entire dynamics, the logistics, the, commercials. All said and done. What if? Now that what if, I really did not have the right answer for them. That what if this doesn't work? What do we do? So
What doesn't work? The online training doesn't work.
training. So the only thing I said was, well, don't pay for it, or maybe we'll do it again. They said, "Sab, time chala gaya, uska kya karenge?" Now it was difficult for me to convince these people. Now they are part of a huge conglomerate, sure, but then it's not organized. It's not MNC driven kind of a protocol that they have within the organization. And this is where my concern was. I'm unable to break through that.
So I think we will all have these kind of issues where there are people who are still thinking in the legacy manners, and there are people who are moving forward, okay, who are going online. And it is also true that this Zoom that we have right now is similar to what we had SMSs once upon a time. And right now, none of us are using SMS. We are all using WhatsApp and Telegram, etc., which is so much more advanced, and so many other things can be done. So eventually, the Zoom will also evolve, or something else will come in, which is going to be like your WhatsApps or Telegrams. And therefore, the delivery mechanisms are not going to be so static like an SMS once upon a time. So people will open up. Until then, I guess this is the teething problems which all of us will face in the beginning, that people will have resistance, and people will not have faith, and people will not be sure. But that's a problem that all of us will have to face initially, until these guys realize that they don't have a choice.
So there is also this concern that, I was also facing this, an overkill. Now, a huge bit of digital exposure. Anyone and just about everyone is sending us a plethora of messages that today, this time, log in. Today, that time, there's a webinar.
There's no thing as an overkill on the digital platform, in my opinion. There's nothing like an overkill. Yes, I would obviously say that on your personal social media handles of Instagrams and Facebooks and Twitter, if you're posting 100 posts every day, that is an overkill. Yes. But if you're doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 every day, and trust me, to put 3, 4, 5, 6 every day is not easy. Okay. So it's very, very difficult to gather so much of content and talk about it. Is not easy. But that is not an overkill. So you will find it very, very difficult to do. Don't compare yourself with somebody else and try to think about whether so many people doing it is an overkill or not. Compare with yourself. Am I doing the 2, 3, 4 people? Imagine if you're getting 1K audience or 4K audience or 40K audience. Every one that you get is one more than nothing. So you're sitting at home doing nothing, no audience, and you have 1K audience. Good. Go on to Instagram live and talk. You get one person watching you live. Brilliant. Fantastic. Don't think in terms of number of likes. Don't think in terms of number of shares. Think in terms of that one audience, that one individual. That's where you should be. That one difference that you're making is all that matters. But you will get more. It will take time. It's organic. It will take time. But it's not about you being good or bad either. Whatever you are, there is an audience out there. There are a number of people out there who want it the way you want our delivery. So it's not about you being better than somebody else or somebody else being worse than you. Then you can do. If you have the most tuta-futa English of Hindi and English put together, there is an audience waiting for you. They want that. If you have a most tuta-futa Hindi, English, Gujarati put together language, there is an audience waiting for you. There is an audience waiting for you who are willing to listen to you. So deliver. That's what matters. There's no such thing as overkill.
So coming from somebody who used to create Twitter trends, I think this makes a lot of value for all of us, because Animesh Bhai, gentlemen and ladies, has been setting many trends alight on Twitter. He's been a guy who's been very popular. But then when he says that even if you have an audience of one, that audience needs to be taken care of. Even if you have an audience of 4 or 40, that would not matter. Am I putting my best foot forward? Animesh Bhai, now given this context. A lot of trainers are undergoing a cycle of relearning now. Uh, People were just content with their having a Facebook account or maybe putting up a LinkedIn account and just getting onto Twitter to just have a couple of newsfeed items onto their screens. What do I need to do differently in this period? A standard Facebook account I had, a standard LinkedIn account I already have. What would I need to present differently for engaging my audience? Now that engagement is going to be key, that's what I understand from what you've just said.
See, please understand one thing. The meaning of engagement is conversations. Okay, the meaning of engagement is not the number of likes. The meaning of engagement is not the number of followers that you have. That is not the meaning of engagement. The meaning of engagement is the conversations that you have. If somebody likes something, do you say thank you and ask them, what did you like about it? And do they reply? And then do you reply to that? That is what is engagement. So are you spending 1 hour every day, okay, of your life engaging with the audience who's listening to you in each of these social medias? Total, not, I mean, each social media 1 hour, the total amount of 1 hour in all the social medias put together. If you're doing that, you're engaging with people, and that is what is important. That is what is engagement. Please go to the internet and look what is it that what is the kind of content people consume on LinkedIn. What is the kind of content people consume on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter, and deliver that kind of content over there. Let's not make one content and chapo it everywhere in all the kind of social media, then you're not doing justice to each of those social medias properly. So give content according to the social media handles that you are using. Find out on the internet. I don't want to waste your time talking about what is the kind of social media content should have. I think that is very easily available. However, one more thing that I would like to add is that please understand that there is a difference between intelligence and intellect, according to me. What is the difference between intelligence and intellect? Intelligence is information. CBI has intelligence, FBI has intelligence, CID has a lot of information. Everybody has intelligence today because of Google and whatever search engines you have. So intelligence, there is no dearth of intelligence. Everybody has intelligence. What people need to develop is intellect. And what is the meaning according to me for intellect? Intellect means to be able to assimilate this intelligence and connect the points in such a way that you can give a solution to the problems that are available out there in the world, because all the information and intelligence that you have for the benefit of self and for the benefit of others, that is intellect. So you all of us have a lot of intelligence and information, but are we be able to use that information and intelligence from various places that we've gathered for the benefit of ourselves and for others? If we're being able to do that, then we have arrived. So just having intelligence is not the issue. I mean, once upon a time and traditionally, our examination system has always been about answers. The questions are asked, and are you being able to answer? So if you have the answers, you are intelligent. Today, all the answers are available. Nobody needs to go anywhere to answer. I mean, doctors are frustrated because patients come with all the symptoms and the medicines and what is right and what is wrong. So all the answers are available. So I believe that in the future, the people who are going to be considered intelligent are not the people who have the answers, but the people who can ask the right questions. If you have the capability of asking the right questions, Google Baba doesn't know how to ask questions yet, at least. So if you have the capability of asking the right questions, you are there. So please ask yourselves, are you asking the right questions? Answers, everybody has it. Everybody has answers. Questions people don't have, or they don't know how to ask questions.
Awesome. So, the bit that you just mentioned about intelligence and intellect, I guess uh, we have still not evolved from the Pentium 256 when we have got the latest processors. So the processing speed and the way we would need to get things to happen, that needs to be ramped up. We need to be thinking people. A small input that I'd love you to share with the audience is we have a lot of trainers who are generalists, a lot of trainers, who get this a mandate from an organization that we have a requirement. For example, there's a team building training to be done. They would reach out to a particular trainer in their database, and they would ask this question. The trainer would say, "Yes, I do it." Now, there are trainers who do everything, every topic of delivery coming their way. They would end up saying, "Yes, mujhe aata hai, I'm going to be taking it up." Tomorrow, when we're talking of this medium and this platform, do you really believe generalists will still have a say in the market in the future? Or should we graduate from being a generalist to becoming a specialist or an expert in a domain or two?
I would want personally to be an expert in a couple of areas. But because there is such a huge audience in the market, there is such, or around us, when you're on the digital space, you've got the whole world as your market. It's not just about your city or your town or your neighboring states or anything. You've got the whole world. Everybody has space. Whether you are selling a 50 paisa ka ballpoint pen or a 50 lakh rupee ka Montblanc pen, it doesn't matter. There is a market for everybody. So whether you are a generalist or whether you are a specialist, and within a specialist, you are a niche specialist, there is a market available. So you decide what you like and talk about it, because nothing is fixed anymore. Previously, you had a situation that you were in a confined geographical area and you used to go out to find out what is the need and I will fulfill it. Okay. So you look at your geographies, and that is the market, and what is the need in that market, and I will fulfill that. Today, you be what you are. There is a market for it. So there is a role reversal. I mean, it's 180 degrees. What is the need? I will fulfill it. To whatever you are, there is a need for it. So if you're a generalist, there is a need for it. If you're a specialist, there is a need for it. If you're a niche specialist, there is a need for that as well. There is a need for everything, because now you're not geographically bound. You're geographically bound only to the earth so far. Otherwise, there is no geographical binding for this particular city or state. You're open everywhere. So therefore, I don't think there is a true answer to the fact that should you become a generalist or should you become a specialist. You be what you are. There is a market available for it.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, this is very important. Be what you are. And that also means that people start knowing themselves better. Because till today,
what we've been teaching everybody, or what we've been trying to help everybody, that please understand who you are. And that's what we need to do ourselves now. Agreed.
So once that is done, do you also believe there is now a space for training consortiums to happen, an umbrella organization to be created? Let us have more people coming in and somebody takes care of the selling and the marketing. Because in the past, there have been attempts, but most of them failed miserably. Do you think the time is right now?
So as far as the training industry is concerned, I think again, my thoughts, and I could be 101% wrong. I think what is required and what is going to happen is that there is going to be a face. And that face is the person who is going to be the key person who is going to pull requirements for consultancy. Okay. And there is going to be a team who is going to be supporting that person.
So that is what we did once upon a time when we were with NIS. So
yes.
The entire
So the team is going to support that person with social media, with digital content, with what content to talk about, etc., etc. whereas this person becomes the face. Now this team is going to help this person fulfill the consultancy needs, that access, because money is access. So when if Himadri Sinha is going to ask me that I want to talk to you, and I say I'm going to charge you 5 lakhs rupees for an hour of consultancy, what consultancy I need to give him is what my team is going to do research on and tell me. And that is then I'm going to collect and go and deliver it over here. If I'm going to do everything, then I will not be able to do anything. So that's the kind of consortiums that could happen. At the end of the day, it is the individual who ends up making the most money.
Sure. So, you said that there's going to be a lot of space, a lot of, say, initiatives that everyone can take. Maybe the individual, domain-specific experts or generalists. Training consortium can surely happen, and maybe today the times.
Let me talk about another very, very simple thing. All of us have taken problem solving as sessions which last for a full day. Let me explain what I think is problem solving in 3 to 5 minutes, if I can, or probably less than that. If you are sitting in Surat, I'm sitting in Baroda, and somebody else is sitting in Ahmedabad, if we want to travel together, we need to come to one place. Even after we come to one place, whether it is Surat, Baroda or Ahmedabad, if we want to travel together, then we need to decide where to reach. You can't have the Surat guy wanting to go to Bangalore, me going to Calcutta, and the Ahmedabad guy going to Delhi. We can't travel together, even we are together at one place. What we need to do is, number one, come to one place to start with and decide on the end place where we want to reach as the end point. If both of this is in place, then depending on the resources, whether we are taking a chartered flight or whether we are going walking, we can go from point A to point B. This is, according to me, problem solving. Do you think what the problem is and what I think the problem is the same? Okay, then we are at the same place. Most of the times we start discussing problems without knowing, with having what is in your mind as a problem and what is my mind a problem as different, and we talk solutions. So it is wrong. So first and foremost, your understanding of the problem and my understanding of the problem, is it the same? Yes. Next step. If this problem was solved, forget about how it is being solved. If this problem is solved, what is the end result expected? So then we know which is the end result that we done. Are we in agreement to that? So we are in agreement of that. Then point A is decided, point B is decided. Now let's talk about how to solve depending on the resources that we have. So that, according to me, winds up everything about problem solving in this world. Point A, point B. If you and I are both mutually agreed upon that, then depending on the solutions, let's solve the problem.
It seems Simon Sinek has taken lessons from you. His golden circle say the same thing. You figure out your why, the what, and the how will follow.
Yes, that's probably in context of problem solving. I think wherever I've gone and talked to people, wherever I've done A and B, everything has got sorted out so easily. So even right now, what is the problem that needs to be decided? What is the end result you want that needs to be decided? If that is decided and clear, then depending on the resources, we have digital as a resource right now. So how do we use it? Sure. We have Wi-Fi at home. So how do we use it? So let the point A and point B be decided. Problems will get solved.
Animesh, I'm getting a question, and it's a very elementary question for you to answer. However, this question needs a lot of thinking for almost everyone, because tough times always need something different. So this question came in, and it said that how do you think we can work on building resilience in ourselves? That's the first thing. Second, there are people who have got teams. So how do we build resilience within ourselves and within the team, given the current scenario?
Does this question mean that how do I remain confident and how do I remain out of that fear box that everybody is getting into?
Maybe that, plus people are getting a lot of reversals. They're facing reversals right now. Unable to figure out how to monetize my business streams, or how to break through. So
see, I would say that I think all of us have experienced that in the last so many days of lockdown. our expenses have actually come down. I don't know when was the last time I filled up petrol in my car, and I used to fill it up pretty regularly. I have not eaten outside for some time now because nobody goes outside, so I've not eaten. And I found that actually speaking, we've realized that the four of us in our house and my mother who's bedridden, we are being able to survive at home at suddenly at a much lower cost. And it's not too difficult. Now, this is what everybody is facing. And on the other side, everybody is also facing the fact that there is no income happening. So we have a question that my maidservants are not coming right now, but I'm paying them, okay? Because I'm getting the money. Tomorrow, if my money is reduced by 40%, then what do I do? Do I continue paying them even if they're not working? I think that's a fact that everybody will have to face, and a decision will have to be taken. Ideally speaking, it is said that, I mean, let me give you an example. During the last 2008 recession that happened, one of the hoteliering companies, this guy, instead of asking people to leave, he said that, look, if I ask you to leave the jobs, people are going to have problems because they will have no incomes coming. But because of this recession, our income has dramatically dropped. So what I recommend is that instead of 12 months pay, we take 11 months pay. And how do we do that? We continue working, but we take 1 month's unpaid leave, 30 days of unpaid leave during the year, whenever you want to take it. Okay. So you can take 2 days, you can take a week.
I think I lost the video.
Say, so I can't afford to not make the money. Okay, this unpaid leave is going to be a problem. And you are a friend of mine. You say, look, I understand. 3 days of your leave is equal to 1 day of my leave. Okay, so I will take that one leave on your behalf and tell the company that you don't stop his pay. So let's, as a family, decide. So two things happen. If as a family we reduce our income, then all of us go out to make more money by finding ways. Alternatively, if as a family we reduce our income, then all of us get together and decrease our expenses. So now, as an organization, if we are calling ourselves a family, then the employees cannot demand that, look, we are family, but if you don't make money, it's okay, I need my money. Okay. Simultaneously, on the other side, when we are making money, at that point, we can't say we are family, but I'm making more money, I will not give you money. Sure. So both of those things work. And if that works, I think resilience will be built up and things should be fine.
Awesome. This takes me to another point. Okay, before that, I was getting a couple of calls and people wanted to ask questions. So what I'll do is, anyone wanting to ask questions, you can do so right away. You can either type it on the chat box or the Q&A, or maybe you can also, raise your hand and you can just ask it directly. So I'll allow you to talk and maybe you can put it up. So there is this question that came in from Chirag Desai. He says most traders work in individual manner according to, most trainers work in an individual manner. According to you, how can collaboration be done? And how will it help people create opportunity in the coming period? All right.
Like, for example, there are so many guys who are doing podcasts. This famous guy, I forget his name, who's Tim Ferriss or Jim Ferriss is a guy who's one of the largest podcast guys in the world. He gets Bill Gates and he gets Elon Musk and he gets everybody to come and attend his talk shows. Fantastic audience. Who benefits out of it? Both benefit, but this guy Ferriss definitely benefits. Right now, for example, Himadri is doing these youth talks. What is he doing? He's primarily asking questions and I'm doing the answering. Who benefits? He benefits by even answering or even questioning, because it's not everybody who can ask these kind of questions. So he also benefits, and the person who is coming over here also benefits. Now you decide where you want to be. You want to be on this side or you want to be this side. That's up to you. So how collaborations can happen? I talked to Himadri the other day. He said, this is Friday, I think. On Friday evening, we were talking. He said, Sunday morning, kuch karte hain. Let's give a talk on Sunday morning. I said, okay, what time? You know what was the time decided? 6:30 in the morning. He said, if you get one person, it's okay. So unfortunately, for various reasons, 6:30 was not possible. Eventually came down to at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning. Look at the number of people who are here. We've already crossed more than 50, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, so, I mean, we were okay with one person, but enjoy what you're doing. The audience is available over there. You like to collaborate? Pick up the phone and talk to Himadri. Himadri, I liked your youth talk. I want to be part of that. Convince Himadri that you're worth being on that side. He will have a talk. What will happen in the worst case scenario? He'll say, no, can't get worse than that. The other side, Himadri finds that somebody is interesting. He'll pick up a phone and ask people. So pick up the phone and talk to people. Send a DM on Instagram or a direct message on Facebook to the Prime Minister of India. How does it matter? I've got a guy in Baroda. He is 24 years old, runs an organization called Chhatra Sansad. Okay. You know who he talked to on Instagram Live 2 days back? He's talking to ministers. He's talking about talking to secretaries of states. I asked him, how do you manage? He said, sir, all I need is a telephone number. Now, I try to look for a telephone number. I find it. I give a call and ask them. They say, yes, very good. If they say no, too bad. I've had a few guys who have said yes and then cancelled later on. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, cancel. मैं तो phone करता रहता हूँ. It's like this guy who was asked this question that you've grabbed so many opportunities in your life, you know. How did you manage to grab so many opportunities? He said, my father told me that you've got to jump at every opportunity. So I didn't know when the opportunity was passing by. So I was jumping all the time. So whenever there was an opportunity, I could grab it. But if I sit to wait for the opportunity to come and then jump, then you will never know when the opportunity came and passed by. So you need to keep jumping all the time.
Stand up and be counted. Awesome.
Absolutely. And please keep standing up. Don't stand up when your mood happens. Action, action, action. There is nothing else. You might have the most brilliant idea in the world, but if there is no action to it, how does it make a difference? You could have the stupidest idea in the world, but if you act it, it's better than the most brilliant idea not acted upon.
Yeah, that's what you just said, resonates very well with a small statement that was given to me by Shiv Khera. There was a meeting that we were having and the gentleman who's about to ask a question right now, I know he was one of my sources to interact with Shiv Khera. Shiv Khera said that, Himadri, you might have the best training, product with you. You might have the best facilitator guides and participant manuals, but if you don't know how to stand up and reach out to a client, all that is a waste. So don't dump everything, stand up, talk to people, meet people. And that's exactly what I think you also keep doing, Animesh Bhai. I mean, you are a super connector. Your right hand gets talking to the left hand and then you connect people. And this is what you've always been doing all throughout. Dr. Meghnathan, you can ask your question.
Yeah, good morning, Animesh Bhai.
Good morning,
Dr. Meghnathan from Chennai.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am a turnaround consultant.
Okay.
So I work on a very niche consulting area, also training. We always advise our clients, when the things are not going good, that's the time to spend money on improving and re-look at the processes, re-look at the business processes and all. Very few are able to accept it, knowing that, otherwise normally people believe whenever there is a recession or whenever there's a downturn, that's the time to curtail all the cost. And the first thing they cut is training and consulting. How do we convince the clients, that's not the right thing to do? When we are not doing good, you actually have a lot of free time. This is a time to focus on improving and focus on, innovating your ways of approaching the business. How do we convince?
This is very much like the share bazaar, sentiments rules the share bazaar. So when the sentiments are bad, everybody wants to do everything that is wrong. And unfortunately, what I have found is that the brightest of minds are not necessarily the people who are making the most money. The people who are making the most money are definitely not the brightest of minds. And the people who want to tell them what is the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do, these not very brightest of mind do not understand this. So how do we go about telling them that this is important? I think to reach this message, then what we need to, this is where probably a consortium could help. Let us imagine that you, sir, me, Himadri, and so many other people who are there. All of us decide that we are going out and giving content out in the market. Okay. So now for the next week, we are going to deliver content in our own way, in our own language, saying that this is the time to grab the opportunity to refurbish your organization. This is the time to use your organization to the best, organizational time to the best of your ability, so that you're better prepared. Now imagine you as one person making this noise in the air, saying that this is the time to do it, and 50 people together who create a consortium and from their own vehicles or medias or social media, delivering the same thing for the next 3-4 days. Imagine the amount of noise that it is going to create. So when that noise and so many people start saying the same thing, people will start believing it. I don't think it is going to be possible as an individual. We keep trying to fight. We will have to create a team of unconnected people, okay, to speak the same language. And say that to a lot of people. I don't know whether that's an easy thing to do or not. I don't think it should be too difficult, because everybody is in the same boat, almost sinking and not doing. So if we get together and say, let's do this, that for the next week, this is what we are going to talk about in whatever language you want. Okay. So if I may give an example, probably a disconnected example. If we were to ask this question of ourselves, that was Gandhiji a person who was being, the majority of the Indians were followers of Gandhiji 75 years ago. Most people will say yes, that yeah, majority of the people were followers of Gandhiji 75 years ago. But then if we ask ourselves this question, was he a good looking guy? No. Was he a good father? No. Was he a good husband? No. Did he have a good voice? No. Did he wear good clothes? Probably hardly he wore any clothes. Any good handwriting? No. Good politician? No. Good diplomat? No. Everything is no. Then how come people were following him? People were not following him. Gandhiji represented three things: Satya, Ahimsa, Swaraj. That is what captured the imagination of the whole world. Satya, Ahimsa and Swaraj. It said that people came to Gandhiji and said, sir, what should we do? I want to do this. Should I do it? He said, are you speaking the truth? Yes, sir. Is it going to cause any harm to anybody? No, sir. Will it get us independence? Yes, sir. Don't need to ask. Go do it. So what I'm saying is that let us identify these 2-3 things which will capture the imagination of all the trainers and learning facilitators in the world. And this is the problem. And then let's just float it out and tell people that let's 50 of us start talking the same language right now, because that is the need. And what is the purpose of that? The purpose of that is not to get business. The purpose of that is to explain to our clients and to the world at large, this is the right thing to do. That is the purpose. The purpose is not that let's drive people to spend money and so that I make money. No, that's not the purpose. The purpose is let people understand that this is the right thing. So therefore, that same noise together will probably make the difference. If I alone go and fight a war with somebody, I might not win. So we need to get together. Probably that's the solution.
So,
thanks a lot, sir. An excellent solution. Hemu, I request you to seriously consider, we can collect all the influencers, big people, and we should seriously work on this.
done.
Thanks.
Meghnathan, thanks a lot for the question, and thank you so much for being around. Animesh Bhai, now you just mentioned that people need to get together and figure things out, and somebody has actually put in a question on integrity and ethical awareness. So how do we actually ensure that we continue doing what is right even when we know that there's nobody watching us? Because staying on this side and committing a lot of things to people, getting the entire protocol organized, but then there is also this risk of us falling into a trap called it's okay this one time, it's okay, let me not get into an ethical bit just for once. How would you address that bit? There's a question that somebody's already put in.
This is so individualistic. It's so different for everybody. But let me share something. Maybe that will give you an answer. I don't know whether I'm giving you a direct answer. Maybe I'm giving you an indirect answer. But I'm sure this particular example that I'm giving you will help you in various places in your life. Okay, I hope it does. I hope I'm not sharing something that everybody already knows and I'm repeating myself. But let me share something. I heard something and I found it very, very interesting. If I were to ask you as to what makes a human being, then there are four things that make a human being. The first is the body. Your body is different than my body. Okay, so that's the body. The second thing is the feelings. You have different feelings, I have different feelings. Something that you like very much, I might hate, and the vice versa. So feelings, that is what makes a human being. The third thing is the mind. The mind is logic. Logic says that this is right. Your logic says that this is not right. For the same right, we might have different logics. So the third thing is the logic. The fourth thing is energy, which in our Indian language is called pran. Okay, pran makes us. You might have more energy or less energy, better energy or worse energy, but it's basically energy. So what makes us is energy. This energy that you have, this pran that you have and I have are the same. So the body is different. The feelings are different. The logic can be and are different, but the energy is the same. So now let me tell you that how this helps your communication and how this helps language. What do we tell that when you are helping your kids grow up, demonstrate what you're doing. They will do what they see. Okay. So what does that mean? It's body. They see what you're doing and they copy it. They don't understand any other language because that's the language, that's their language, the body language. When they grow up a little bit, what's the next thing that happens? The next thing that happens is that they get feelings. Oh, this is my best friend. That is my worst friend. That friend did this to me and I felt very hurt. Lot of crying, falling in love, falling out of her love, hating, etc., etc. So it's all feelings, 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 feelings. The body and the feelings remain and they graduate a little bit more and comes logic. I want to do this graduation. I want to make so much money. I want to go there and do it. I want to go there. And what you're saying, Papa, is wrong. What I'm saying is right. So then comes logic. And then comes the energy. I'll talk about the energy again later. Let's compare this with another example of marriage. When you get married, first it's all body, 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 body. And then comes the feeling. I love you more. You love me less. I love you more because I've done you so many things for you. You're not doing so many things for me. So it graduates, body remains, graduates to feelings. The third thing happens is the mind, the logic. I tell you, the kid needs to be taught like this and he needs to be exposed to this. And she says, no, I think it should be like that and not like that. So all logic, if you look at our grandparents, etc., they sit together, don't talk for years together. If both of them cannot do with each other. They always knows exactly what is to be done to help each other, but they don't talk. Because if they talk, there is logic. If there's logic, they fight. So they don't want to fight. So they don't talk. They're just together. They don't talk in public at all because they've realized that if we talk in public, we'll have contrary views and we'll fight in public. So that's not right. In public, we will not talk to each other. In private, we will do whatever is required. Why? Because you are operating from this particular language state. The moment people realize, and 95% of the couples die in this particular state, when the moment both the couples realize that we are energy, you and I are the same, okay? And just because your truth is different than my truth doesn't mean that one of us has to be wrong. The moment we realize that appreciation is about understanding the other context, understanding the other perspective, and saying that, okay, that is your context and that your perspective, and we can still live with it. The moment we understand that, then we become a little bit more peaceful. We become a little bit more calm. That your truth and my truth can be different, but both of us can be right. So now the question is, what is our truths? Are you looking for money, 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 money? Then that is your objective. You want to make glass bottles only. So make glass bottles, if that helps you. But if you think that your objective is money will happen, my objective is helping people learn and become better, and these are my standards which I will not breach, then have your integrity in place, have your honesty in place. There is a market available for both. What can you live with? Can you live with being dishonest? Can you live with no integrity? Can you sleep comfortably with a lot of money taken all in fake ways by fooling people? Do that. Doesn't matter. If you can't do that because you can't sleep well and you're not happy about and it doesn't make you peaceful, then don't. There is a market available for that also. And you will make enough money and you'll be happy. So how do I maintain integrity? If your standard is to maintain integrity, then that's all that matters. But if your important thing is to make money and integrity is secondary, then don't ask these questions. Don't have integrity, make a lot of money. See, one thing is certain, whether you make money or you don't make money, you're all going to die. We are all going to die. Sab marne wale. So tum karke maro, bina karke maro, khush hoke maro is the only request that I have. कि आराम से नींद करो, खुश होके मरो. पैसा बना के मरना है, उससे खुशी मिलती है तो वो करो. Honesty से नहीं मिलती है, dishonesty मिलती है तो उससे मरो. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So decide on your standards, decide on your values and stick to them. There is a market available for that. That is going to make you money if that also. So I don't think, again, there is any very strict way of doing it. I would personally want to be honest and have integrity because that helps me to sleep. I've realized that money is, hygiene money is required. You need enough money for everything. But that hygiene money is very easy to make. It's not very difficult to make hygiene.
Okay. Thanks a lot for that, putting things in the right perspective, because that would also help a lot of people figure out, maybe by the end of the day, they might want to just coin and write down their values, that what are my values finally? Let me figure that out. We've got Dr. Rashma who would want to ask a question. Dr. Rashma, you're up.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I am Deepak Tahiliani, husband of Dr. Rashma Tahiliani. We are logged in this ID and listening to you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you for your guidance and especially on the value part. So now my question is specific to my kind of consulting setup. Basically, I deliver consulting solutions to US banks, okay, global banks, and it's absolutely going fine. I have no issues. But currently in India, I have a set of consultants whom actually I train, I mentor. Okay, they are saying that their costs are high because, as you correctly said, you need a team of 2 or 3 people under you who do the content writing, and you are at the delivery end. So their costing is a bit high. So they are of the view that in this kind of circumstances, with the current projections, there are people who are quoting much lower than what they are quoting, So there are chances that the business will move from them to other persons in spite of the training budgets of corporates not getting reduced. Then also they are saying costing is going to play a picture. Just wanted to know wanted to ask from you, how do we think, like what perspective should we have if such a problem arises?
So what I think you should be doing is attending a session of Himadri or maybe Himadri and myself, if we get together and do something of selling skills, okay, or understanding the art and science of selling. Please understand, as I said, that there is, I've said this before, I'll say it again in this session itself, that there is a market available for anything and everything. A 50 paisa pen to a 50 lakh bomb blank is available. If you are selling something which has value, and if people feel that this is worth paying so much, then people will pay for it. If your problem is that you're not being able to create that value in the minds of the customer, and somebody else who has got not as good a product, a lower valued product, is being able to sell it, then your issue is not your product. The issue is not your delivery. Your issue is being able to create the value for your product in the minds of your customer. So I think you should focus on the issue of creating value in the minds of your customer. If you're being able to do that, then the customer will pay what you are asking for because they see value in it. If the lower guy of a lower value product is being able to create more value for that lower price thing, then obviously your client is going to pay money for that. So I think what is it that your friends or whoever you're mentoring, your mentees need to understand is how to create value in the minds of their clients, that what they're asking for is worth it. And therefore to pay a lower price is not worth it. So that's the learning that they need to do. Otherwise it's not that दूसरे लोग price कम कर रहे तो मेरे को करना पड़ेगा, but मेरा cost ज़्यादा है तो मैं करूँगा तो loss में जाऊँगा. Obviously. So I think what needs to be learned over here, a new skill that needs to be learned, is the art and science of selling. Maybe we can get together and if we get 5-7 people, we can do a session on how to, what is the art and science of selling.
Sure.
So absolutely. So we are in Baroda. Sir, we are in Baroda only. So maybe
So
I'll
wherever,
get
we'll
my
do it online.
mentees.
What?
I'll
We'll
ask my
do it
mentees.
online,
Yeah.
and content should be free. So I will do it free. So that's not a problem.
Sir, also one more thing I would like to ask. Sir, basically, sir, let's say,
There are a couple of other people who have raised a question. So maybe
absolutely fine.
back to you if we have got some time.
Thank you.
Just a second, everybody. If everybody doesn't get an opportunity to ask questions, Instagram handle Animesh Bhatt, Facebook handle Animesh Bhatt, Twitter Animesh Bhatt, everywhere Animesh Bhatt. Send me a direct message. And then we can exchange telephone numbers and talk to each other. Let's have content free.
Awesome. Okay. So Animesh Bhai, there are just a couple of more questions.
Sure.
There is one from one of the world's leading henna artists, Mehndi artists. She's been a great coach. She'll be doing a lot of work online. She's been training people in almost about 32 countries. And she's been doing Rights in the Lockout. She's been putting up her videos.
We must talk to her as to how she's delivering content. I mean, I don't think there is any question I can answer her, but let me try. I'm excited. She's already doing something that I'm telling everybody to do.
She has that question she just raised right now. And she says that, I keep doing things on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. These are live sessions. How to establish or how to figure out which system works the best?
Oh, there are loads of analytic tools available in the market. There are loads of analytical tools available in the market. Please understand what you're doing on YouTube, what you're doing on Facebook, what you're doing on Twitter, what you're doing on LinkedIn, what you're doing on Instagram. Is it the same? If everywhere you're doing the same thing, then you need to go on the internet and find out, ask that question. What is the content best received on YouTube? What is the content best received on LinkedIn? You ask that question and find out. It's easily available on the internet, and that will probably answer the question. Because each of these things are different. You will not carry the same clothes when you go to Switzerland, or you go to the Sahara Desert, or you go to Dubai festival, or you go to New Zealand on the beaches. You'll wear different clothes when you go to different places. Similarly, in the social media, it'll be different things that you need to deliver. So which is doing the best implies that you want to reduce the other and do the one thing more. No, New Zealand is different, Dubai desert is different, Switzerland mountains are different. Everywhere it is different. So you need to carry different clothes at different places and create the market for all of those places. So, and there are analytical tools available which you can use. Ask for free analytical tools for my social media. You'll get a lot of them.
So she just mentioned that, though she's an artist, she would love to attend a session on sales and science. And we have
everybody and anybody in this world needs to attend sessions of communication and attend sessions on the art and science of selling, because we're doing that all the time.
Sure. There's somebody who says that I'm a student entrepreneur, and his startup is based on spiritual sciences and research to harness cosmic energy to heal stress, anxiety, and depression. Can you bless this particular individual? Looking for
blessing? Oh. I don't know whether I have the capability of blessing anybody, but in my next prayers, I will definitely add you to my prayers and pray to God that you are successful in all the good things that you're doing in your life. So I will definitely pray for you. I don't think I have the capability or the designation to bless people yet. And I hope I don't know whether I'll ever get that. So yes, I will pray for you, my dear friend. I will definitely pray for you. And please get in touch with me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and wherever you can.
Great. There's a question from Rahul Shah who says that, all said and done, people beyond 40 are slow to adapt and change. So do we still keep selling, bottles?
Yeah. Your market is reduced. If you're happy with that, keep selling bottles. You'll die anyway. So yeah, you don't want to change, don't change. Nothing wrong with that. You don't need to be unhappy because you're not changing. It's okay. You prefer to remain the way you are. There's a market for that as well. See, the only difference is that gentleman was selling bottles only in America. So when America stopped buying glass bottles, he had a problem. Now imagine at that point of time, he had the capability of America not buying glass bottles. I was selling 100 bottles in America and I was the market leader. America is not buying glass bottles. But I suddenly find that I have the whole world as my market. And instead of 100, I've got 200 bottles I can sell. I'm doing better. So with the help of technology, you can probably reach a bigger market by doing whatever you are doing.
Sure.
So that is okay. Unless you want to decide that I want to sell only glass bottles in America, and I don't mind if my market goes down from 100 to 50. But I will stick to glass bottles because I'm the best glass bottle maker in the world. And that is the only thing I will do. Great. Maybe just like the glass bottles went out of fashion and Tetra Pak came, and once again now glass bottles are coming into fashion. So when it comes back into fashion like every cycle does, you will be the market leader. If you what you're doing is the right thing to do, provided you have a bigger audience.
Sure. There's a question the handle Star Seed would like to ask. Star Seed, you are up. You'll have to unmute your mic.
Atma Namaste, sir. This is Aishwarya Jain, and I'm abundantly grateful to you that you've been on resilience and integrity. I have another one as well. My question is, how can one respond positively to change and uncertainty?
Could you please explain the question a little bit more?
Sure, sir. In these times of crisis, me being a student entrepreneur myself and working on mental health for students of my own age, I feel that something which is bothering us a lot is the uncertainty, the unknowing world of what might happen or what might not happen. So how can you deal proactively with such a condition?
I'm no psychologist, so I don't know how to really answer this question. But let me again give you an example. My mother suffers from dementia. Last couple of years, she's been bedridden. And a lot of people who came to our place to see my mother said that, oh, she was so active and she was so good, and now she's bedridden and look how frail she's become. We were all getting into that particular groove that, oh, yes, she's so unwell and she's not nice. And yes, she's suffering and we are suffering and we can't move out. Until one fine day, my wife came and told us that, look, we have a choice. We have a choice of thinking that all this is wrong and we are suffering. The other choice is that she's taken care of us all our life. Now it's our turn to take care of her. Whether she understands or she doesn't understand, we can go and joke in front of her. Maybe she understands. So let's have fun, enjoy ourselves. Let's do everything that is required to be done. I helped my wife change my mother's clothes. Have people help coming in over here. Trust me, the first time I did it, it was not easy. My wife looked at me and says, she's a baby. You changed our baby's clothes, didn't you? She's a baby now. Come on, relax, chill. So now we are all happy and we are laughing, and she's also laughing. Sometimes she's more insensitive. She's also laughing because she doesn't realize. The point I'm trying to make is that for anything and everything, that you have an option of being very cowed down and feel very fearsome and feel very apprehensive because the future is uncertain and everybody's talking about it. Or you can be very excited. Our future is uncertain. Okay. Great, I have opportunities. Let me look for those. Let me keep jumping to find that opportunity of mine. So that's a choice you have. Nothing that I can tell you can make the difference. It's a choice that you will have to make yourself, whether you want to jump at opportunities and be excited, or whether you want to sit in a corner and be unexcited. I live in Vadodara. There is a man in Baroda that I'm seeing for the last 15 years, probably Himadri and the people who are from Baroda will also see it, who has a bottle, a plastic bottle, water bottle in his hand, and he walks around on the streets of Baroda, especially this old Padara and go. He just walks, dirty clothes, he's mentally handicapped, and he's just walking around. Anywhere 15 years I've seen him. When I saw him 15 years back, probably he was 20, 25 years old. So that means he's around 35, 40 years. That mad guy who has a bottle in his hand, who's walking the streets of Baroda, is living. It's not difficult to live. Everybody will live. Whether you're walking the streets and eating junk food, Everybody is going to live. Now, how you want to live is the question that you need to ask yourself and you need to answer yourself. Do you want to be happy and excited and live? Or you want to be unhappy and depressed and sit in a corner and live? The choice is yours. So how do we face these uncertainties? Either with unhappiness and depression or with excitement. Choice is yours. If you want more scientific help, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't think I can do that. In treating somebody, I don't think you need treatment, but on treating people, I'm not the guy to talk to. But as far as an attitude and perspective is concerned, I think it's very easy. It's very easy to make a choice. Exercise, run. I've never seen a depressed runner. Okay, a person who goes running every day in the morning, runs 5 kilometers, comes back and says, I'm very depressed. I haven't seen that. So exercise, very important.
So thank you very much, Animesh Bhai. That was all the time we had for this morning.
Okay.
I'm aware that you have a schedule to look up to. You're talking.
I have a schedule to look after my mother. Yes.
One of our, the same question that came from our henna artist. She has a request. Can she see the mural painting behind you?
Oh, okay. Yes, sure. This is something that has been done by my mother when she was much better. This is a cross-stitch thing that she did when she was, I think about 4 or 5 years back. So, and then she's been putting up. Thank you very much for noticing this. I hope you like it.
It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And what a blessing for, for you to have that.
Oh, yes. And she's done a lot of those things and we're very, very, happy that we have this kind of.
Well,
thank you for being interested in that.
Gentlemen and ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us this morning. And in the same numbers that we started out, we are closing with a higher number right now. This itself speaks volumes about how much people are still keenly interested in improving themselves and reaching out people, in learning more on how to do things better. And I had a great time to have had the pleasure to have Animesh Bhai on our platform this morning, a man who's always been generous with his inputs, a man who's always been very ready to jump in to help anyone and just about everyone who needs it, at whatever stage and degree of their life. And that's what he has done right away. You can reach him, you can write to him, you can talk to him. This is an absolute amazing blessing for all of us to start this Sunday. Animesh Bhai, once again, words cannot, thank you enough for being on this platform this morning. So many thanks coming in from you, from all corners of the country, from all the way from Vizag to Surat, to so many people. Thank you so much. I guess
thank you very much.
You've really made a brilliant impact on the actions that we are going to be, carrying out henceforth. Thank you once again, Animesh Bhai. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope I was able to add some value to your life. If I have been able to, I'm grateful to God and Himadri for giving me this opportunity. If I have not been able to, I'm sorry for wasting your time. Please do well, be happy, and please keep in touch. Thank you so much.
This is not the last we have heard from Animesh Bhai, gentlemen and ladies. There's more to come from him, and we'll be in touch with you soon. Subscribe to the channel, Youth Talks on YouTube, and you'll hear more about our forthcoming programs. Our series on health from Dr. Sangeeta Menon is about to be launched, and those are 15-minute snapshots from somebody who has been doing amazingly well in India and outside. Dr. Sangeeta Menon, starting tomorrow onwards. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Himadri.
Thank you, sir.